following decree is hereby enacted. Martial law is immediately declared in all cities and regions of the realm. All civilian judges...
Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Mark Gannon. Bid you all welcome back to Gothic 2. Last episode we dealt with Canthar, and that was kind of the main deal. So today I have to begin, or shortly, attend to a matter that somebody brought to my attention. Somebody, I unfortunately forgot your name, but I'll bring it up in a minute.
Ah, customer, what can I do for you?
Please pardon me as I pelvic thrust your desk.
I'm looking for a room.
Ah, you're in the right place then.
One of the paladins told me that I could spend the night here for free.
Yes. Just go up the stairs. We still have 1 or 2 beds free.
Why do the paladins pay for everything?
I don't know what that's all about either. For one thing, I think they want to get all the poor suckers off the streets so they don't make any mischief. And for another, they want to get on the good side of the traveling traders. Now that the farmers are rebelling, we have to rely on the traders for provisions. Besides, I think they want to improve the morale in the city a bit. Lord Andre has even arranged for free beer to be given out at the Gallows Square.
What a generous fellow. I question how this is going to keep trouble off the streets, seeing as only the merchants sleep here. And I don't know if I mentioned this before, but I don't understand how the merchants are supporting the city, given that it is against the law currently to deal with the rebelling peasantry, and everyone besides Lobart and Akil, who his farm is also nearby, they are the only farmers that are not supporting the rebellion, and it is against the law to deal with any farmers who are supporting the rebellion. So, where exactly are these traders getting their goods from, I wonder?
Who's staying here at the moment?
Almost all of them are traveling traders from the market.
Aha!
Don't even think about messing with their stuff. I don't want any trouble here.
Wouldn't have even thought about it.
I have a few questions about the city. Tell me about the town.
Corinus is one of the wealthiest cities within the kingdom, even if it doesn't look like it at the moment. But since the Orc War started, trade has almost come to a complete standstill. The king has requisitioned the entire merchant fleet for military service, which means that hardly any ships come into the harbor now. So, the supply of goods is very scarce now, and many citizens of the town are very worried. Nobody really knows what the future will bring. There's basically nothing we can do but wait and see what happens. It's not like we can change anything.
Where can I buy something around here?
The market is directly in front of the door. You should be able to find everything there. There are a few more shops and craftsmen on the other side of town. Most of them are near the other city gate. Also, there's a fishmonger in the harbor district. His shop is right at the harbor. He's easy to find.
I don't understand why they treat the fishmonger like he's such a specific destination. And also, he's not the only shop of any kind down there. There's a few more. We'll find them in time. Sarah's having a nap. It's funny how we get to ask for a room. There's no rooms. It's just it's an open floor plan up here. Now, people have asked why I sleep until midnight instead of sleep until the next morning, and the reason is because there's some NPCs who are still asleep at that hour. I have learned, I always thought it was sleeping until morning, advance the time to 6 a.m., but it's actually 8 a.m., which surprised me. But the reason I sleep until midnight is that some NPCs are still asleep. A lot of people, or a couple NPCs, have services or things that they only do from noon onwards. One of whom we're going to hopefully meet in this episode, because I plan on spending most of our time down by the harbor, quite frankly. Anyway, somebody pointed out, actually I just pulled it up while we were in conversation with Hannah. Dark Angel, thank you for pointing out that I actually sold Larry's aquamarine ring that he gave us in hopes that we could use it to find a contact in the market district to take over his duties. So I'm an idiot. I need to buy that back. I do not have 1,300 gold to get it back. I don't know why I sold it. I obviously did it brainlessly, so we have to connive a way to get it back. And I'm going to use Marvin mode for that. So basically, that ring is worth 1,300 gold, but when we sell it, we only get 195. So we got 195 gold by accident. What I need to do is add some items that I can sell for about that kind of money. The easiest way I found to do it, insert eat at roll fur. We need 4 of those. So, we got 4 troll hides. We actually only get 300 apiece for these, so that'll put us to 1,200, but we can make up the difference with that 100. And then we need to drop the final difference of 95, just so that we essentially give back that money that we got from it.
Show me.
Seeing as we're using cheats to make up the difference, we need that back, but first we gotta sell these.
I've got a few skins for you.
What the hell is this skin?
I ripped a troll off for that one.
Lies!
That is worth a small fortune. Good work.
Okay, so that gives us what we need just to do this. But we need to drop another 95.
Won't they listen to me?
I only have 75 in my pocket, so we gotta drop 20 gold's worth of other items.
But he knew that all along.
Let's see. Torches we can only sell for 1 apiece. So that's 18 gold there. What else we got?
You mustn't believe everything you hear.
We've got some meadow berries. Yeah, I'll just eat one. That amounts to 3, so we just lost 1 gold. Who cares?
I agree with you completely.
There. Now everything. Oh wait, no, that's a lie. I actually gotta.
Don't tell me you didn't know that.
I gotta drop the gold as well. I'm a Dorcas.
Where did you pick that up then?
Do you really believe that?
So,
Can't believe that.
it is what it is. We are now broke. And unfortunately, Darren will not give us more money. We could go the upper quarter. I just remembered that we are a citizen of town. We can totally get up there now. But I shan't bother. Because I already planned on going down to the harbor today. So we've done a bit in the harbor. We borrowed money. We picked a fight with Mo. Speaking of money and Mo, if we had not gotten Lares to cover our debt, which I actually wasn't planning on doing, but it just happened, Lamar, after more than a day, would start having his people down here pick fights with you. First one I can think of is Meldor. The other one is actually Mo himself. And then Lamar will attack you as soon as he sees you. Well, actually, that's not true. I think if he sees you, he demands a payment plus additional interest. He charges 20% normally. I think he charges another 20% on top of that. And if you don't pay up, then you pick a fight with him. But seeing as we borrow the money, and Larry's covered the debt, that's taken care of, and we can never borrow money from him again. Which you couldn't do anyway. If you paid back the debt, you would never be able to borrow money from him again. I could have sworn there was a way to borrow 1,000 gold from him, but there is not.
Hey, you! How are things?
If you want something to drink, you'll have to order it.
You don't say.
I bet you overhear a lot of things.
So what's that to you?
I've always got an open ear for news.
Have you got your purse open then? Every piece of information I give you will cost 10 gold pieces.
What is this racket?
I'll give you no more than 5 for your information.
What? 5 gold pieces? Are you trying to ruin me? Let's make it 7.
No, it doesn't work that way. Let's say 6.
You're a scoundrel, you know that? Well, if you insist, let's say 6 gold pieces for each piece of information.
That's just what I said. Unfortunately, I can't afford that either. So let's, we toss him a few blunts. That should cover some of it. Oh, hang on.
Give me...
Take another.
Give...
Negative.
I need information.
Actually, I need even more money than that. So I need to ask him 2... God dang, I keep screwing this up. I need to ask him for 2 informations. What else can we sell him? Oh, we can sell him this. But we won't. So, at 6 apiece, I will need... and I need one more. Take one of those. That'll do.
I need information. Where can I find work?
You're not likely to find work down here at the harbor. You need to go to the craftsman in the lower part of town for that. But if you wield a decent blade, you could go challenge Ulrich. He fights for gold behind the warehouse.
Is there any special work to be had around here where I could make some quick money?
Something special, you say?
What's this suspicious look in your eyes?
Go talk to Nagur then. Maybe he can help you.
Maybe. So, we can keep pressing for more information. If we ask about influential citizens or anything like that, he just tells us the only important people are on the other end of town, and the only important person down here is Lamar the moneylender. We ask about the missing citizens, he will refer us to some contacts that we will find in our own time. If we ask for anyone who can teach us something, I think he can send us to either Carl, the blacksmith, who we've met, Ignaz, the alchemist, who we've met, and Ulrich, who he also mentioned, and we will see shortly. If we ask for special work, he only refers us to Zurus and Darren, because Darren is a guest of Zurus, and apparently has a chest full of nice stuff. So basically he's telling us to go break in and try and steal it, which is a bit of a trick. But he also referred us to this fellow for some work.
Cardiff says you may have a job for me.
Well, well. So you're looking for a special job. Okay. But we play by my rules, understood?
What does that mean?
That means you do what I say and you get a third of the profits. If you don't like it, then there's no job.
Admittedly, this guy was so menacing that for the longest time I assumed that was cut and dry, but actually...
We're business partners, so it's 50-50.
Okay, I thought I'd give it a shot. Of course, we'll split our profits fairly.
All right, what's your plan?
You know the merchant Baltram, don't you? If not, it's time you talk to him. This Baltram has a messenger who supplies him with goods from Akil's farm. That is, he had a messenger. Until I cut his throat. And now Baltram has to get a new one, and that will be you. Your job is to get hired by Baltram and fetch the delivery from Akil. You bring it to me, and then I'll sell it on to an interested customer. He'll fork over a tidy little sum for it. And just don't try selling the stuff yourself. Have you got all that?
How much will the profit be?
I can't say exactly, but I estimate around 400 gold pieces.
So for 50-50, I should walk away with 200, ideally.
Where is Akil's farm?
Leave the city by the east gate. That's directly on the marketplace. If you follow the road to the right, you'll soon come to a few steps cut into the rock. Go up there, and you'll come to Akil's farm.
When should I talk to Baltram?
You can go right away. He should know by now that his messenger won't be showing up anymore.
What a suspicious laugh. It's almost like you cut the guy's throat.
Where can I find Baltram?
He has his stall in the marketplace.
Well then, I'm all set.
Good. Then get on your way. But if you try to cheat me, you'll soon be every bit as dead as the messenger. Don't forget.
Well, that's very intimidating. I second guess whether or not we should be working for that fellow.
And he works all day too.
Why don't we...
That's all just gossip.
Let's just go on and do that. I didn't really have a plan for today's episode. I thought we'd just wander around the harbor. But then I forgot that we get some quests down there. And normally I like to do quests from beginning to end with as few interruptions in between as possible. And this is already going to have a couple interruptions. So, let's head that way.
Waged war upon the land of Adonis, and the wrath of the gods.
He said to talk to Baltram. There's still 2 merchants here, including Baltram, that we haven't talking to yet. So let's have a word with him.
So you're looking for a job?
Sure. What's it about?
My errand boy hasn't come back, and I'm waiting for a delivery from the farmer Akil.
And how much is it worth to you?
I'll give you 50 gold pieces.
Fine, I'm in.
Okay. Just tell Akil that I sent you. He'll give you a package. Bring it to me.
A package, you say?
Where can I find Akil's farm?
Just go out here through the east gate and follow the path to the southeast. After a short while, you'll come to a stone stairway. Go up that, and from there, you'll already be able to see Akil's farm.
Alright, sounds easy enough to follow. We've been in that direction already. So let's head along. So we don't get to try and negotiate a pay from Baltram for doing the errand, even though it is actually possible to give the package to him, even though all of this only came about because we talked to Nagur. But when we get back, I'll explain kind of the alternatives with this quest, which are a little bit unusual. But you will recall that, what's his name? Lord Andre has asked us to try and track down the so-called Thieves Guild in Corinus. And he mentioned that they have a lot of peons on the ground, little lowlifes that work for them. But the people kind of in charge are in hiding. Well, Nagur is one of the sort of low-level thugs working for them. And turning him in will actually advance the plot with the Thieves Guild, but working for them instead and doing his job as he instructs is sort of an alternative way to kind of get the same end. And I'm gonna go with that, even though it's it takes longer, and it's sort of it like stifles our profits a little bit, actually, believe it or not. But I'll explain more of that when we get there. Anyway, this is Akil's farm. We're just stopping to pick up some mushrooms real quick. We got two gentlemen working the fields here. These guys represent one of the more hilarious encounters in the game.
What's up?
It's been a long time since we've seen a stranger on our land who didn't want to skin us. I hope I'm not wrong about you. I'm Akil, and the strange bird over there is my brother, Anim.
How's the field work going?
Great, if those miserable field raiders weren't constantly destroying our harvest.
Why don't you do anything about the field raiders?
You're joking. Since I've been on this farm, I've killed so many of the beasts that I've lost count. But alas, new ones keep coming.
If you say so. Well, I'm not here to work. I'm just here to look for a package.
Hey, you! Who are you?
My name is Anim. I'm one of the field hands, and the half-pint over there is my brother Akil. We've been working here on the farm for Akil for several years.
How's the field work going?
Do you want to help? There's another hoe back there. Grab it and then head for the field. You
I
just
ain't
have
grabbing
to
no
make
hose.
sure that the field raiders don't surprise you. They'll tear your arm right off with one bite.
Why don't you do anything about the field raiders?
I've killed more of them than I can count. The only problem is they keep coming back.
Your brother told me the same.
What? That loafer? He always disappears just as soon as the beasts come onto our land.
That's a funny way to spell
He shouldn't
loafer.
be talking such nonsense.
We got two brothers at odds here. Both seem to call the other one a blowhard.
Your brother tells a similar story.
Ah, what exactly does he say?
That he has also done away with plenty of field raiders.
What? That loser can't even find his way home by himself. Tell him he shouldn't brag like that.
Okay. I don't know why we're just passing messages, playing telephone between these two.
Your brother thinks you're a braggart.
What? He's actually got the nerve to say that? He'd better watch out or I'll teach him a lesson. Go and tell him that.
Oh, geez.
Anim is a bit irritated about this thing.
He shouldn't puff himself up so much, else I'll tear his head off. Tell him that.
Maybe, and not in so many words.
Hey. I think the two of you should just relax.
The bastard didn't give in, am I right? I'll tear out his guts. Tell him that.
Jesus, you too.
Why don't you tell him yourself?
I'll do that.
Alright, for Christ's sake. Stop sending me around. Alright, well, one wants the head of the other, one wants the guts of the other. Let's see what happens. Place your bets now. So these two are pretty much equal in terms of stats, I think, so... It's kind of a toss-up which one wins. But it looks like Egghead's on the offensive here. That's all they're gonna do. I don't think either's winning.
Haven't you done enough damage? I think you should go now.
No, I didn't do any damage. Blaming me for your family problems. Alright, well that was a fun diversion. But let's go speak with Akil. Oh boy. Something's going on here. I don't know, he looks a little distracted.
Those cutthroats are threatening my husband. We are citizens of the town, loyal to the king, and the mercenaries are planning to rob us. Now don't you just stand there, do something. Help us.
What am I supposed to do?
Do you really think?
Everything all right?
As soon as anyone says anything wrong around here, the dance starts. So watch your step or there'll be a slaughter.
Will you join the fight?
I'm not just gonna stand here when the ruckus starts, but I'm not gonna push it either.
I used to say that myself.
Coward.
Is there a problem?
No, everything's fine. It would be better if you left now.
Are you sure?
Yeah, everything's fine. I can't talk to you now.
Do you really think?
Not now. I can't talk to you now.
Sounds like he's gotten by the balls.
Now don't you just stand there, do something. Help us.
I don't know what I'm supposed to do. These men are big and scary and have big swords.
It's better
Hey,
to watch
Yoko,
out who
have
you
you lost your
what.
way? Go back to your field and pull up a few turnips.
Man, I'm done pulling up turnips. One day was enough for me.
For the poor guy.
I actually don't know what happens if you keep talking to this fool.
Hey!
You're at the wrong place at the wrong time. So I guess that if you want to live, you'd better hit the road now. Get it?
That's no secret.
Hey!
Is there anything wrong with your ears? Or do you have a death wish? Well, it's too late now. I'm gonna rip you to pieces.
So, that sets off a firestorm. I actually have never pissed off Engardo like that, but the same thing kind of happens with this dude.
Hey!
Whatever it is that brought you here, you had better forget it and hit the road.
It had to happen sooner or later.
You're still here. I'll give you a choice, stranger. Piss off or die.
I've only come to fetch something.
So are we, and we were here first. So piss off, or I may have to hurt you.
Well, we've seen that they make good on their threats.
That was no big deal.
I don't really want to put the farmers' lives in danger by stirring the pot here. But what can we do? If only there was a burly, strapping young militiaman that we paid off earlier who could help us here.
I need your help.
If it's absolutely necessary, what's wrong?
The farmer Akil is under attack by mercenaries.
What? Those riffraff are hanging around on Akil's farm? Then let's not waste any time. Follow me.
Wow, he's actually up and at him. So neat trick that I learned a long time ago. If you have a weapon drawn while somebody's leading the way, as long as they're in focus and you just hold the forward button, you'll just essentially just keep following them, which is pretty cool. If you try and strafe, or you try and turn while doing it, you do this, and it's hilarious.
Now watch how this works.
Alright, show me how it works.
I'm gonna rip you to pieces.
Oh, they got pissed. Well, let's see if Micah is as tough as he looks. So you can get involved if you want, but nobody here is capable of dying, other than the mercenaries themselves. So there's little to worry about.
What a silly bastard.
All right, that's that. I'll be off then.
Yeah, alrighty then.
Poor sucker.
No, he took the weapon. This guy took the weapon. Damn it, I was gonna try and grab that. But Micah fucked with me.
Wait a minute.
Onar's rebellion will have serious consequences. I prefer to keep out of it.
Well, they don't want to keep you out of it. Instead, you took the sword I was gonna grab. Son of a bitch.
Thank Innos. I thought my time had run out. My name is Akil. I've farmed this humble piece of land.
Who were those people?
Those were mercenaries from Onar's farm. Those bastards don't know anything but plunder and murder. I'd been fearing the worst. Well, thank Innos it didn't come to that. Tell me, what can I do for you?
If you ask for a few gold pieces, he doesn't have anything to give you. But instead, he'll send you to his wife, who he'll provide some snacks, which is kind of hilarious. But basically, they just provide some provisions, which isn't really worth it to us. You actually get more XP if you turn down a reward.
Nothing. Just as long as you got through this all right.
You're an exceptional fella. May Innos guard you on your way.
May he indeed.
What did the mercenaries want from you?
You don't know that? Onar, the landowner, hired them. They guard his farm and collect the rent for him. And that means they go from farm to farm and take whatever they want. And whoever can't pay gets a taste of their steel.
So ironically, they sound like they're doing the exact same thing as the militia was doing.
Baltram sent me. I'm supposed to pick up a shipment for him here.
So, you're his new messenger. Okay, I've already made up the package.
Nice package.
You know your way around this area?
Sure. What do you want to know?
Have you heard anything about missing citizens?
Don't make me laugh. Heard of them? Some of my own people are missing. Tonak and Telbor used to work on my fields until 3 days ago. And I know exactly that they wouldn't up and leave the farm just like that. And yet they've simply vanished and no one can tell me where they went. If you happen to find out what's become of them, be sure to let me know, will you?
I shall let you know. We're on the hunt for such folk anyway.
What is there in the woods behind your farm?
There's just a whole bunch of monsters back there. And the wolves are the least dangerous. A few bandits are also said to have their caves there. Well, they've left my farm alone so far.
Well, aren't you lucky? They're probably the ones hassling the traveling traders.
Where can I find Onar's farm?
Just go back down the stone steps and follow the road to the east. At some point, you come to a tavern. From there, you go farther east until you come to the big fields. That's where the mercenaries hang out.
What is that tavern to the east of here?
Ask Randolph. He knows more about it than I do. He's been there a few times.
All right, we'll speak of the fellow.
So long. I really wish I could have done more for you.
Oh, it's quite all right. Just glad you made it out alive.
Wait a minute.
Everything all right?
Yes, I'm fine. That Alvarez has become bolder and bolder lately. Good thing that's over now. What I could use now is a good drop in the tavern.
Got bolder and bolder, and now he's eating dust.
You're not from around here, right?
I come from the Southern Isles. At some point they said they needed people in Corinnes because of that magic ore. But when I got there, they had this huge barrier in place, and I didn't want to go in there, so I started working in the harbor. Well, the ships stopped coming in, and so I went to work for Akil. I've had worse jobs, actually.
Sure sounds like it. Now, I was actually talking with somebody earlier about how very few people really describe what the Southern Isles are, and I actually forgot that Randolph was supposed to be one of them. The only common theme, at least in this game, seems to be that people from the Southern Isles have slightly darker skin. but one of them has a ridiculous accent, and that would be Abuyin. Randolph himself doesn't seem to, so that doesn't seem to be common of that area of the world.
You hang out in the tavern?
That's right, but not recently. I cannot afford going there anymore.
What exactly is going on there in the tavern?
There's gambling there. Two fellows compete against each other. Whoever can hold the most beer wins. In the end, I did nothing but lose, and now I need to make some more money first.
Who did you go up against?
Against Rookar, that old good-for-nothing. So far, he's beaten me every time. But somehow I have the creeping suspicion that the filthy swine has laced my beer with gin every time. I suspect he keeps the gin hidden in that damn chest of his, that lousy scumbag. Somebody ought to sneak some plain water into his chest. Then he could lace my beer all he wants. If I only had enough money to compete against him one more time.
If only. I don't really understand how he could be sneaking gin into your beer without you noticing. Gin is a pretty distinctive flavor, from what I know. Not a fan of it myself.
Hey, you! Are you all right?
Yes, I'm fine, thank you.
Why don't you defend yourself against Onar's tyranny?
For us farmers near the city, it makes more sense to stay on the good side of the city militia than to rely on Onar's mercenaries. On the other hand, there's Bengar and Sekub who would rather give up their farms than work for the king.
Where do I find the farms of Bengar and Sekub?
They're not far from the farm where the landowner lives. Go east from here and you'll find them.
Haven't you ever considered moving away from here?
It's not easy to get away from this part of the country. All the land is walled in by a high, insurmountable chain of mountains. The only two ways out of here are the pass to the Valley of Mines and the harbor. Since we cannot afford passage on a ship, and the Valley of Mines is a place of no return, we're going to have to stay here.
What do you know about the pass?
I've never been there myself, but it must be somewhere near Bengar's farm on the high pastures.
Look out for your husband.
I shall do my best.
Shall you? So, if you want to head deeper into the woods in that direction, that's where we can find the bandits who, harassed Hakon. But we're not going to do that quite yet. For now, we're going to stick with our main objective, which was to get this package to Nagur. So we only get 50 gold for bringing this package to Baltrum. But if we use this whole thing as evidence of Nagur murdering Baltrum's former messenger / delivery boy, we can go to Lord Andre and get 100 gold out of him. So basically screwing over Nagur gets us a grand total of 150 gold. Let's see what we can get from him. Again, it should ideally be 200 gold if we deliver the package to Nagur, so a slightly larger profit, but we'll see what actually comes of that. I got the goods.
I brought the package.
Well done. I'll see to it that I sell it. Come back tomorrow.
Tomorrow? Alright then. Here's a named fellow.
What are you doing here?
What am I supposed to do here? I'm drinking. But if you mean, what do I do all day? I arrange fights.
So that's not a line I usually hear, because I usually talk to this dude where he hangs out, which is not in the tavern.
You arrange fights?
Every day, from noon until evening. Behind the warehouse in the harbor district. Home sweet home.
No better off myself.
What are the rules for the fight?
Quite simple. All regular weapons are allowed, no bows or crossbows, and no magic. We fight until one of us drops. And as soon as one of us is flat on his back, it's over. Got it? Whoever leaves the ring is out. So if you quit, I win. The stake is 50 gold coins. If you win, you get 100 back. If not, well, then your money is down the drain. Got it?
Yep. You live behind the warehouse?
It's only temporary.
When you have as much gold as I do, you can afford a little luxury. I was a drill instructor in the army, but I left that bunch to seek my fortune in adventure. Now I've wound up in this shithole. My last 100 gold pieces went to the guards at the city gate. So, I'm seeing to it that I come into money again. I even had to sell my sword.
So I don't understand how he says he has the money to afford some luxury and then says that he has no money whatsoever.
To whom did you sell the sword?
I swapped it with a trader in the marketplace for some stuff. The guy's called Jorah. The torches and the bit of meat that he gave me are long used up.
He isn't likely to give me the sword for nothing.
It's an old sword. He won't want much for it. Just think of the money as an extra stake for the fight.
Now, I usually deal with Jorah before we even come talk to this fellow, which makes it helps you avoid having to pay for the sword, but we can still get around that, and I'll show you how to do that once we get to there.
What do you know about the war against the Orcs?
There's not much to tell. The war's been going on for too long. The country people are starving. Everywhere there are peasant revolts that are put down mercilessly by the king. But there's just too many of them. If the war doesn't end soon, the realm will fall apart.
That doesn't amaze me.
Can you train me?
If you really want to learn how to fight, then go up against me. The lesson is no extra charge.
I want to fight against you.
I only fight from noon until evening. The fighting is only worth it if there are enough spectators who place bets. It's much too late now. Come back tomorrow at noon.
Tomorrow at noon, you say? Alright. Well, I mean, we have spectators here. But I guess that's not good enough. Alright, well, we gotta find somewhere to crash for the evening then. I see a bed on that sign. Is this a hotel?
Hey, you! Where you going? No matter what your plans are, there'll be plenty of time later. You're right in front of the Pearl of Corinus, the Red Lantern. This is the most beautiful brothel in all of Myrtana, damn it. Sailors from the most remote corners of the world dock here just to spend a few nights in the Red Lantern. And now, it's you who has the chance, nay, the honor of spending a night with Nadja, the most passionate flower of the gods. Come on in, and you're going to experience what others cannot even dream of.
Man, you are a hard sell, my friend. Really passionate about about what you do here.
Are you the one who runs this place?
I am Bromo, this is my house, and these are my girls. I like my girls. And if you like my girls too, then you'll pay for it, 50 gold pieces. And don't get the idea of making trouble here.
Man, your doorman is a much better marketer for your services than you are.
Are all your girls accounted for?
Of course they are. Or do you think I want to go to jail over something like that?
I wasn't asking
What the
about
hell
your
she run,
payroll. I mean, are they all present, or have any gone missing?
Oh yeah. Actually, one of my girls has up and left. Her name's Lucia. I reported it to the militia too, but they claim they haven't found a trace of her yet.
How long has Lucia been missing?
Several days. I don't know exactly how long. I assume she ran off with one of her suitors, eh? That bitch made off with part of my savings, a really valuable golden dish, eh? If I get hold of her, I'll give her what for. So how is that any business of yours, huh? Do you want to have fun or not?
Those are two very different lines between his subtitle and what he actually said. Anyway, we're not here for his services. We're just here because we need someone to take a nap, and we ain't picky. So let's get in this strangely moist bed and wake up with a lot of new itches. Why don't we take a look and see if old Nagur has
That's what I've always
sold the goods. No idea what goods he so desperately needed from a food and general goods merchant that he got from a farmer. Why any of it would have been that valuable to a black market thief. But let's just see.
Did you sell the wares then?
Yeah, but for less than I thought. I only got 300 gold pieces. Part of that goes to my employers. And Cardiff gets his usual percentage, plus the gold for your commission, which leaves a total of 240 gold pieces. We'll split those as agreed. Here's your part. You did good work. I've passed that on to my employers. What comes of that is out of my hands.
120 gold, so we definitely could have gotten more if we had just turned them in, and then actually delivered the goods, and kept our integrity intact. But I get the strange impression that some of the bits and pieces that he said go to Cardiff and his employers are actually just a convenient excuse for him to keep a little bit more of it in his own pocket. Wonder what this strange man with a bunch of sheep in an alley is up to.
Boy, that lunatic's hammering is wearing me down.
Who are you talking about?
Can't you hear that hammering? Who do you think hammers all day long in the Harbor District? I mean that lunatic felon. He takes the hammer to his hut every day.
Are those your sheep?
The only one that belongs to me is the one that answers to the name of Lucy. Ha ha ha! That's my wife, Lucy. The sheep belong to the militia. All the sheep they collect from the farmers, they bring to me.
You really need to clear your throat there, buddy.
And how are the sheep?
Felon's hammering is going to drive them crazy. One of these days, they'll go completely to pieces.
Well, maybe you should put a fence up on the gate and it'll keep them in. Or a gate up on the fence.
You want to help me? What's in it for you?
You tell me.
Oh, that's how it is. All right, if you can get him to stop hammering, I'll pay you 25 gold pieces. But I'll tell you one thing right now. You can't talk to the guy. He's nuts. The only thing that will help is a few decent punches.
If I beat him up, I'll just get into trouble with the militia.
Down here at the harbor, no one pays much attention to brawls. But if you steal around here, or mess with the sheep, you'll be in trouble.
Mess with the sheep? What do I look like? My name is Mud?
I'll see what I can do.
You can think about it. Remember, I'll pay you 25 gold coins.
25 gold coins to beat the shit out of a loser. Sounds like a good deal. Although it begs the question, why haven't you beaten him up yourself? Alright, I mean, this is barely audible from here. I don't know how he's hearing it around the corner, but their houses are abutted together, so maybe that's the issue.
Hey, you!
Don't tell me that.
Why are you hammering?
For days now, I've been desperately trying to fix the leaks in my house. The rafters have been crumbling away ever since we had those rainfalls recently. Soon everything's gonna come down around my ears.
Wait a minute. Hello? Are you feeling quite well?
Fine, just as long as I manage to get all this repaired in time.
Wait a minute. Could you stop hammering?
No, I have to finish this.
Just quit hammering, okay?
Just try not to bug me too much, okay?
You can't keep anything.
Stop that hammering or I'll break every bone in your body.
Forget it, or I'll knock some sense into your head with my hammer.
Things like that.
God, you and your hammer, man. Damn, teleporting hammer, man. Alright, well, I think, old Alvin was right. There's only one way to deal with this.
You'll run.
I don't believe that... Yeah, so he doesn't do the charging swing, so he's a bit of a tougher fight than you might be used to. But...
Show him!
He doesn't do a whole lot of damage, and he doesn't have a lot of resistance. Or hit points, so it's easy to knock him down. So he's got 2 hammers in his pockets, but he actually just generates new ones every time he gets back up. So... Unfortunately, we have to have a word with him before we can guarantee that the noise shall cease.
That's not what I heard.
Don't you try that again. Okay, so you beat me. Some heroic deed that was.
Will you stop hammering now, or do I have to thrash you again?
No, don't hit me anymore. I'll stop. But if everything collapses around here, it'll be your fault.
I think I can live with that.
These are bad times.
Here. I'll just put a couple more nails in for you. There. Should hold up nicely.
Who says things like that?
Nothing you can do about it.
Felon will hammer no longer.
Hear that? No more hammering. At last, I thought the fellow would never quit. You've done me a huge favor. You know what? I'll give you 30 gold pieces.
Man, don't go broke just on my behalf.
And how are the sheep?
The sheep eat and get fatter and fatter. Just like my wife.
Oh, wife jokes. Classic. His wife is actually right around the corner, named Lucy, and she just has generic NPC dialogue. Alright, well, here's old Ulrich with his fight club. It looks like he has some spectators, so maybe we can actually partake in some friendly beating.
I want to fight against you.
Do you have 50 gold pieces?
Here you are.
We have a new challenger. The bets are placed. Are you ready?
And just a little tip, it isn't really all that helpful, but during dialogues, you can actually draw your weapon by pressing the 1 or 2 button. So it lets you get a couple hits in sometimes before the NPC gets their own drawn.
Come here.
Then let's see what you can do.
Inhabitants of Corinth.
I can do this. Little cheap shot.
Alright, that city who have martial skills
you got.
At their disposal
He heard a little more. Oh god! He heard a little more than I did. But that's fine. We can get him. So you have to be careful because if you walk out past the crates, that's essentially where the line is drawn for the ring. And stepping out means you forfeit the fight and lose your gold. But for now, Alric actually does the wild, crazy, dumb swings, which makes him quite easy to deal with. Now remember, as soon as he hits the ground, you gotta leave him there. So you can pick up your gold from him now, but he is an honorable fellow, and will actually give it to you when he stands back up. But I actually find it hilarious that we can grab most of it, and he will just give us a difference. But accidentally, I think he still has some.
Ah, my head.
Your head indeed.
Oh man, you packed quite a punch. You went through my pockets while I was unconscious. That's bad form, man. No matter. The money was yours anyway. Here's the rest. And one more thing. No one talks about what goes on behind the warehouse. The militia puts everyone who does the slightest thing here behind bars. And those boys don't like to see betting on fights.
That's a lie. I mean, everyone else says the militia doesn't give a shit what happens down here.
I want to fight against you.
Nah. Before I go up against you again, I need a better weapon. I had to sell my sword a few days ago. With that, baby, I'm unbeatable. If you get it back for me, I'll take you on again.
Get it back for you? What, we're supposed to spend our earnings from beating you up just to make it easier for you to beat us up?
You hardly know who to believe these days.
So, if you want to walk in here, you see a very stoic-looking fellow up there. We'll deal with him later. He's actually quite a tough fight. But instead, I want to talk with this fool.
What are you doing here?
I'm building a ship because I want to get out of here as fast as I can. But the way it looks right now, this ship will never be finished.
Why are you in such a hurry?
Soon the Orcs will come and burn down the city.
What makes you think that?
Boy, have you noticed the paladins running around everywhere? Why do you think they're here? I tell you, they're here because the Orcs will attack soon, and that won't be pretty.
Can I help you somehow?
Yes, you can. Find out what the paladins are planning. I want to know why they're here. And I have to know if the Orcs will attack, and how far from the city they are. One of the bastards was even seen outside the city. Just bring me all the information you can get. I need to know how much time I have left to finish the boat.
What's going on at the harbor?
The Orcs are breathing down our necks and you're asking about the harbor?
I only wanted to...
The biggest problem we have is that there aren't enough ships in the harbor to get us out of here. To be honest, there's only one ship here, and that belongs to the paladins. They certainly won't let us get out of here with that.
Certainly not.
Why can't you finish your ship?
Oh, we have thousands of problems. The hull still isn't stable, and it's still missing a lot of boards. But I have hardly any gold left to buy new material with, and the last delivery had bugs in it. My boys don't work productively. One wants a fast ship above all else, the other one is worried about the figurehead. As if we didn't have more important things to do. Also, one of my people is simply not showing up for work anymore. I'm beginning to fear that this will delay the construction even more.
You're one worker short?
Yes. His name is Monty. He's vanished into thin air. That lazy pig is probably living the high life on a farm somewhere. I should never have paid him in advance.
Oh, you fool.
When was the last time you saw Monty?
He hasn't bothered to show up for work for at least 2 days.
I've heard that other people have gone missing too.
Just what I'm saying. That's where the evil starts. Farum the fisherman told me something similar. His buddy William is no longer around. I bet that the Orcs are behind all this.
Orcs? Why would Orcs be kidnapping people?
Where can I find this Farum?
He's a fisherman. I think that his hut is near the provision store of the Paladins, but I don't know for sure.
I will have to pay the fellow a visit.
I've got some information about the Orcs.
Let's hear it.
They're stuck in the Valley of Mines, and it looks like they're going to stay there. To be on the safe side, the Paladins are guarding the pass.
Good. If you find out more, let me know.
Right, so I was somehow led to believe, I don't remember exactly who said it, but somehow led to believe that if we kill the orc outside of town ourselves, or with Bartok, as happened, then we'd be able to tell him that the orc's been dealt with. But that does not seem to be the case. As a matter of fact, we need to get a statement, another statement from old Rangar, the militiaman helping himself to some of the free beer out here. And you know, this free beer was supposed to be for citizens, for general morale in the city. Instead, one of Andre's men is helping himself to it all.
Would you like another beer?
Well, I won't say no to a decent pint.
Well, I don't know how decent these pints are.
They've even spotted an orc outside of town.
Yeah, right. The dangerous orc outside the city. A real monster of an orc. Well, he's bound to attack the city soon. Listen, we'll kick that fat orc in his fat ass if he comes too close to the city. Got it?
I see.
If you say so, I feel so reassured.
You
can offer him beer until the cows come home, but he doesn't have anything more to tell you.
Hagen, the following decree is...
So at least we got something to tell him about that orc outside of town.
As to that orc outside of town?
Yes?
Don't worry about him. The city guard is going to take care of him.
Good. If you find out more, let me know.
Considering his paranoia, I'm surprised he takes that reassurance so, confidently. Well, here we have a very seaworthy gentleman.
Oh, you landlubber. Looks like you're stranded here. You look a bit pale around the gills. Never
Lol,
mind,
seaman
my lad.
talk.
All you need is a good stiff sea breeze.
Man, this guy is like every pirate meme you can think of.
What are you doing here?
Back when I was a young man, I went to sea and rode through many a big storm.
You missed a line there, buddy.
No big deal, not at all. But that old tower came closest to what I call a home. I haven't been up there in ages.
Why not?
Ever since these scallywags took over my lighthouse,
I
haven't dared get closer to it than 20 feet. Really bad rabble, that. They're criminals from the Valley of Mines, you know. There was this big bang on the other side of the mountains, and they swarmed all over the land like flies. Now they're hiding out everywhere, even in my lighthouse. I think they're on the lookout for any ship they can raid. Ah, let them. Then at least they'd be out of my tower.
How on earth are they gonna raid a ship? Because your lighthouse is on a cliff. They don't have got boats, and they ain't coming down here to get one.
Do you come to town often?
I always say a town is only as good as its harbor. A harbor is the gate to the world. That's where everyone meets, and where everything starts. Once the harbor goes to the dogs, the rest of the city will follow soon.
Tell me about the harbor.
The harbor of Corinus isn't what it used to be. There's nothing but riffraff hanging about. The ships don't come anymore, and trade is dead. This harbor's about to go under.
So why don't you leave?
Nobody would take an old sea dog like me on his ship these days. Most people think that old Jack's got the gout in his rotten old bones.
And? Are they right?
Balderdash. Once I've got those planks beneath me feet again, I'll feel like a young whippersnapper.
Do you snap at whippers?
What do you mean by riffraff?
Look at them, the lazy rabble. Most of them don't even know what work is. All they do is drink all day and spend their last pay at the brothel. I tell you, stay away from them.
That's exactly what I said. Why are the ships no longer coming?
They all say that once the war is over, everything will be like it used to be. That's a load of bilge water. I tell you, a sailor can see when a town's going downhill. A sailor feels that in his blood, and I can tell you, forget about this harbor. Its heyday's over.
Well, a lot of that doesn't just have to do with the fact that trade isn't coming in anymore, but trade can't come out of here anymore. The Valley of Mines was the biggest source of the island's economy, and it seems like they really rolled hard with it. I mean, it was a premium natural resource to sell to the royal, well, to the king and the royal soldiers. And, well, we really screwed that up, didn't we? Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, I think that's enough for tonight. We got a bit done, but there's more to be seen down here at the harbor. So next episode, I guess we'll wander around, have a few more chats, see what else is going on. And maybe we'll finally be able to track down the Steve's Guild, but who knows. Until then, thank you very kindly for watching. Hope you all enjoyed. Don't forget to follow me on Twitch if you want some live stream action. Subscribe to my live stream archive channel, link in the description below as well. Otherwise, have yourselves a wonderful night.
It's better to watch out when you tell one.
That's really not my problem.
You don't have to ask me that.
That was obvious all along.